Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Footy Chronicles. My name is Bolaji and thanks for joining me. Finally, just some days, couple of days countdown to the start of the English Premier League, the most watched competition all over the world, the best league in the world, unarguably or arguably the best league in the world, the most competitive league in the world, I must say, and it's the English Premier League. Now, as the season opener or the curtain raiser for the English Premier League, we have the FA Community Shield. And this season's FA Community Shield, which is also the English League Super Cup, was between Arsenal and Manchester City over the weekend. And Arsenal was able to come out top in this one. A very cracking match. We all thought it was Manchester City's title already, but 11th minute of added time and Trossard popped up and actually got the equalizer. The match went to penalty shootout and Arsenal were able to finally defeat Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, winning on penalty shootout 4-2 and lifting the FA Community Shield. Some persons might say, yes, it's just a Community Shield, but trust me, it's an official match and it's also a silverware, just like you have the Spanish. This is England Super Cup rather, and so the FA Community Shield is actually a silverware, whether you like it or not, and it's also a sweet victory for Mikel Arteta. Trust me, he's not going to care whether or not it's anybody's opinion of if it's an official match or not. As finally able to get one over Pep Guardiola, and he would be over the moon over the weekend, celebrating that with the boys. And also, this means the right mentality you would want your players to go into the league with. Defeated Monaco in the shootout, and now also they are able to defeat Manchester City in the curtain opener of the season. Now, moving away on this show today, I would want us to give our top predictions as to who we feel will be finishing top of the league, the top three teams, and the Premier League, the Italian Serie A, and the Spanish La Liga. I'm not going to be looking at the German league and the French Ligue 1 because it feels like that already has where it's going to, so it's less predictable. PSG, I still don't feel like any team in the French league has anything close to PSG in terms of quality, in terms of team structure, or even the club structure itself. So it's always going to be PSG winning that league. Except there's a new owner that gets a club like Lyon or Marseille and they're able to pump in the finances they need, then they would be able to challenge PSG. And the German league, of course, Bayern Munich. So that's why I'll not be giving predictions as to who would be the winners in the German league and the French league. The German league, yes, Bayern Munich were pushed to the end of the line last season by Borussia Dortmund, but in the long run, it was still Bayern Munich that came up top and won the title. So we would be looking at the top three leagues in Europe. For me, it's the English Premier League, Spanish La Liga, and the Italian Serie A. I feel like they are the most competitive, and so we will be looking at who we think is going to come out top. For me, I'll start by giving my predictions in the Premier League. I feel like it's still Manchester City's title to lose. Yes, they lost the Community Shield. A lot of fans have the opinion that Guardiola didn't feel the right player, but I mean, that's not an excuse. Manchester City was still being represented on the pitch, and De Bruyne played, Haaland played. You can see De Bruyne was on the bench, Anderson was on the bench, but that's not an excuse. So, but I feel like in the Premier League, it's still Manchester City's title to lose. I don't feel like any team has yet come close to them in terms of quality, in terms of structure, in terms of the winning mentality that Guardiola has actually been able to bring to the club. It is still always going to be their title to lose, as I feel like everyone is going to be chasing Manchester City. So I'm going to say Manchester City, the Premier League champions, come May 2024. The Premier League champions will be Manchester City. I would be happy to be wrong, though. I would be very happy to actually be wrong on this one. Second on my list, I feel like it's going to be Liverpool. We all know they had a not so good season last season, and I feel like towards the end of the season they got better and better. Now they've lost Firmino, who didn't play as much as he used to last season, but he was very important as to when they needed him to come with the goals. Luis Diaz was actually injured for the better part of last season, and they got Cody Gakpo and they have not been able to actually make the team gel. But I feel like them having a full preseason together, yes, they've lost Fabio and Anderson, but I feel like this time around, Klopp is going to be able to get the best out of the boys, knowing that he has a full preseason with all of them. And I feel like Liverpool would actually once again be chasing City to the title. So I feel like Liverpool is going to be coming second in the league. Third position, this is quite dicey. I'm stuck in between Arsenal and Manchester United. Yes, I said Arsenal is not going to be top three. I seriously feel that way. But going by statistics, going by data, I feel like Arteta has just gotten that sink in the team. He's got his man now, Declan Rice. He has Havertz again, adding to the options he has up front in regards to getting goals. So I feel like Arsenal is still going to be either third or fourth, but I am going to put uh, um, Arsenal and Manchester United third and fourth. I'm just going to leave it at that. That's my prediction. So I don't have a top three position. I would say I have a top three slash fourth position. I feel like that's going to be the top four. The likes of Chelsea, Tottenham, Brighton, Newcastle are going to be among the chasing pack, and that's what I feel is going to happen in the English Premier League. Quickly jumping to the Spanish La Liga, I feel like it's still Barcelona's title to lead. The fact that Barcelona was able to peep Real Madrid to the title last season. Real Madrid performed woefully both domestically and in Europe, and now losing their talisman Karim Benzema, and they've not been able to replace him, playing the waiting game for Kylian Mbappe. But even if you want Mbappe cannot come to Real Madrid this season. It's going to be coming next season. So, and as Ancelotti was in a conference, there was a conference where he said it feels like it's okay with the firepower he has. It feels like Rodrigo Vinicius Jr. of Valverde would be able to get him the goals. I don't think they would be able to get him the goals that Karim Benzema has been able to help the team with in the past 2 or 3 seasons. And a player of Karim Benzema's caliber cannot just be easily replaced. So if Real Madrid don't replace Karim Benzema, which his boot is going to be very hard to fill, I think they would not be able to compete with Barcelona next season. Yes, Barcelona has lost Ousmane Dembele, but who cares? He's not a player that will actually play 30, 40 matches in a season. It's an injury-prone player. Some Barca fans are saying it's good riddance for them. I mean, allowing Ousmane Dembele go and cashing out on him. So for me, my prediction will be that it's going to be Barcelona first. Yes, in Spain, it's always a two-horse race, and so Real Madrid coming second, and probably Atletico Madrid finishing at the third spot. You have chasing parks like Villarreal, Sevilla, Valencia. Those teams that once in a while try to challenge the two horses, that's Real Madrid and Barcelona. But we all know it's going to be between those two clubs. And for me, I feel like it's still Barcelona's title. They still have a strong squad. They have Lewandowski, who is always going to give them goals. And so, if Real Madrid are not going to get anybody to replace Karim Benzema, then I feel like it's Barcelona. So, for me, Barcelona to retain their title next season in Spain. The La Liga fans, what do you think? Do you think that Real Madrid will be able to challenge Barcelona without a talisman, without a number 9 for the season, knowing fully well that Karim Benzema has said his goodbye and is now plying his trade in Saudi Arabia? Moving away from the Spanish La Liga to the third continent, the third country we'll be looking at in Europe, the Serie A, Italy. Last season champions Napoli. I honestly don't think they will be able to do it this season. Yes, they still have the team, but Victor Osimhen is actually being looked for in Saudi Arabia. They've already offered him a deal. We have not heard from him whether or not he's going to accept the deal. It's most likely going to accept it. £1 million or $1 million for any African player is something that you'd almost not be able to actually reject. So I think if Victor Osimhen does not stay in Napoli, then it's going to be a no-no for now. So it will be quite difficult for Inter Milan to actually challenge for the title. So I still feel AC Milan, Napoli, and Juventus, because Juventus are actually trying to get Lukaku, and they are also trying to strengthen their squad. So I feel like they would not be able to challenge for the title, but they would obviously make top three in the Serie A. Inter Milan might come in fourth, but I don't see them breaking the trio of AC Milan, Napoli, and Juventus. So that's the wrap up for my predictions as to who would become champions and who would be the top three in the three most competitive club in Europe as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you think. In England, I feel like it's Manchester City's title to lose. In Spain, I feel like Barcelona are going to retain the title. And in Italy, I think, or I know, or I feel like it's going to be AC Milan. Amongst the three of them, I think the Italian Serie A one would be one that would actually have a lot of people on their toes, because you have three traditional teams always competing for the title. Now you have the newcomer Napoli, who I think are here to stay, regardless of whether or not Osimhen leaves. I think they'll be able to get somebody to actually not fill up his boots, but at least to get the job done. They've also lost their defender to Bayern Munich, so the defense is a little bit weakened. So that's why I feel like Napoli would not be able to retain the title. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Do you think my predictions are right? Who would you have in the mix? That is my opinion as regards who I think will be finishing the top in their respective leagues. Moving away from that, so it's the start of a new season, the English Premier, and I am more than happy for this season, because it also means for us here on Footy Chronicles that we would finally be able to go into our punters corner and our market. Already, I feel like asking Man City fans our market as regards to their scoreline against Arsenal and the Community Shield, but I'm just going to hold on. I mean, the Premier League is starting in a few days' time, and I don't know how the English FA actually do the fixtures, because Man City played on Sunday and they are actually going to be starting the Premier League on Friday. So it's Manchester City against Burnley on Friday. I think that's an interesting match, an interesting way to start the Premier League. Company, Guardiola's captain, former captain, now a coach, and did wonderfully well with Burnley last season. They were the championship title winners, and now they are back in the Premier League. They scored a lot of goals last season down there in championship, and they are hoping to replicate that in the Premier League. I know fully well their mandate or their target will be to remain in the Premier League, but this is the master versus one of his mentees, and he will be coming up with Guardiola. I know anybody that's been under Guardiola and is a coach would be greatly influenced by the way Guardiola prepares for his match, how tactical Guardiola is during matches. So you would be seeing a lot of tactics there on pitch, a lot of technicality between both managers. But I honestly feel this one is an easy one. Manchester City should be able to get the job done at Burnley on Friday. The kickoff time is 8 p.m. European time, and I feel like it should be an easy win for City. Yeah, they might struggle a bit. I don't think that this one will be the one with lots of goals, but I feel like it's going to be a win for Manchester. And on Saturday, it's Arsenal. I think Arsenal should be able to get that one over the line. I think it's important that they start the season with a win and to be able to build on the result against Manchester City and how they've been able to play well during the preseason. So I think it's important for Arsenal to be able to get the season started well and get the job done at the Emirates. So for this one, I think it should be Arsenal winning that easily with lots of goals. My prediction will be 3-0 in favor of Arsenal. I know Nottingham Forest have loads and loads of players. They are one of those clubs last season that just kept on buying everyone, and it was actually an okay strategy because they were able to remain in the Premier League. But I don't see them getting a point at the Emirates Stadium. So I think it's going to be 3-0 Arsenal win.